at first I thought, where is this going? But, I thought it was a fantastic idea. I thought it was bold. I wasn't sure where that would lead. I myself, although I was a resident at the time, I wasn't part of the writing of the lyrics. I had my own issues going on at that particular time, but I was very honoured and proud to be in the video. So when it got to that stage of production of the video and seeing where this whole song was going, I thought, wow, this could have a huge impact upon many people out there who wrestle with addiction. And it's such, as you say, quite an impactful and powerful video and song. I truly hope that someone listening to those lyrics and watching that video would be inspired to have the bravery to stand up and ask for help.
Tell me your story. How did you end up in the rehab program at Sunrise Way?
Well, I had been involved with drugs, what I would think would be a light level, with cannabis since I was 19. And I'm 42 years old now. But ice was a drug that came into my life 2 years ago. It did get to the point where it began to wreak havoc. It's literally brought me to the brink of death. I recall that, once upon a time in my life, I was heavily involved in martial arts, and I considered myself to be a strong person back then, and I was determined to have that fighter come back, and not in a physical sense, but to regain that warrior spirit, to have the will to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, to have the power to say no to something that was not healthy for me and other people who were not healthy for me.
Mark, I believe that the particular catalyst that made you realise that you definitely wanted to get help and that Sunrise Way had what you needed was a particular photo on social media, which often cops a bit of a bagging for all its social ills, but in this case it made a big difference. Can you tell me about that photo?
Yeah, certainly. Yes, and I do understand what you're saying about social media, but however, in this case, it turned out to be a blessing. I'd seen a post on Facebook from a friend of a before and after photo of a guy who had recovered from ice addiction, and the before shot was taken 2 years prior, and it showed him as being very thin and very gaunt, looking very sad and unhealthy. And the after photo was him 2 years after completing rehab, and he was muscular and he was fit and healthy, and that contrast to me said this is a way of finding help, and it just gave me the answer that I was seeking. And I remember looking at that photo and I'm saying, I'm going to be that guy.
Isn't that fantastic? Did you ever meet that guy? I mean, was it Sunrise Way that he had been through, or was
No. This was somewhere down in Victoria, I believe. I've tried to relocate that photo. It's a bit hard to go onto another friend's page and go through their history. But I'm going to track that down. I will get there, and if there is a possibility of me being able to say thank you to that man face to face, I'll certainly would love to do that.
Wow, that would be an amazing story, yeah. And that he probably had no idea that photo, would have such a powerful impact. Yeah, you can't know at the time. And I suppose it's the same with this video and this song that's been made. You get involved and you're sort of a bit tentative, but you think it's a good idea, but you have no idea what happens once it's sort of out there in the ether. And I suppose that's the most powerful thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And the ripple effects that can occur can go far and wide, and that's the beauty of stepping up and and giving it a shot. So yeah, I'm very proud of everyone who's been involved in this video. I think that so many lives can be changed because of it.
Was it hard to, I mean, 6 months when, and you talk about that camaraderie and that becomes vitally important, and 6 months you go from, being in a really bad way to well on your way to recovery, if not complete recovery. So that suggests to me that the day that you actually walk out of there must be really scary. Is it a hard place to leave at the end?
Yes. Oh God, yes, it is. It is because it's hard to leave a place where you feel like it's like home, and you're leaving people who feel like family.
So out of this journey, you want to get into to being a counsellor so that you can use your experience to help others going through, I guess, not just addictions, but going through any tough time. You could sort of use that experience you've accrued.
Yes, certainly. Look, I believe that experience is one of our greatest teachers in life, and I've certainly had some experience in a particular area that's going to afford me the possibility of a career where I can give back. And so, yes, I've completed my Certificate 3 in Community Services, and I'm now at USQ studying a Bachelor of Human Services, majoring in counselling. So I look forward to the day where I can help another addict overcome addiction and help them to discover that they are worthy, and that they have strengths and they have talents that they can give back to the world too, and that most importantly that they can find joy in life.
Was there a particular point in the program where you thought, I've made it? I'm not through the program yet, but I am closer to the person that I want to be than the person that I was. Was there any sort of pivotal moment that you recall?
Good question. I remember on the day of my graduation, and I said this publicly as well. I said, I will never say that I've got this. I think it would be arrogant to suggest that I've won the battle entirely, because addiction is something that can live with a person for the rest of their life. However, in saying that, there was a little saying going around in the rehab, and about the halfway mark, I remember seeing one of the other guys who graduated ahead of me, and before he graduated, he said to me, "Don't leave until the miracle happens." And I knew what he meant when he said that, because I witnessed him change. I saw in him this light in his eye. It was this in his eyes. It was as if his soul was lit, and his face was glowing, and I could see the joy and the love that he felt within his soul. And so when he said to me, "Don't leave until the miracle happens," I knew what he was talking about. And I hadn't experienced it at that point, of course, but I could only hope at that stage. And then probably halfway through the second phase of the program, which was about 4 months into it or so, I distinctly remember going through the miracle. It had begun, and that was amazing. And really what that was, I think, was a sense of self-worth, a level of joy that I had in my life, and I kind of had returned back to my inner child. I was able to experience life the way I was always meant to be and experience it, and I found myself again. And I'd been missing me for so long, because I had so many emotional issues I needed that kept me buried underneath a pile of of drugs, disconnection from other people, anger with the world, and to a degree of hatred for myself. So that's very dark stuff. But Sunrise Way was able to allow me to see myself as someone who's joyful and someone who has a great deal to give to the community and to other people.